Hello and welcome to News 9. I'm Verghese Abraham. First up, let's in fact take a look at the election stories from across the country. Well, the voting for the third phase of the Lok Sabha Elections 2024 is taking place today. Now, across 11 states and union territories, voters are casting the ballots for 93 Lok Sabha constituencies. Now, of the 93 seats, 10 are reserved for the scheduled castes and 11 for the scheduled tribes. Now, as many as 1,351 candidates are in the fray in Phase 3 polls. Notably, polling for the Anantnag-Rajouri seat in Jammu and Kashmir has been deferred to May 25th, while Betul in Madhya Pradesh, originally slated for the second phase, will join the fray in the third phase. Now, after today, a total of 283 seats will have completed polling, marking a significant milestone in this electoral journey. States including Assam, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Karnataka and Gujarat will complete their voting process in this phase, shaping the political landscape for the upcoming government. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi, after casting his vote, spoke to the media. Let's listen in to what the Prime Minister had to say.
भाई गर्मी में आप लोग दिन रात दौड़ कर रहे हैं, आप अपने स्वास्थ्य की भी चिंता कीजिए। और क्योंकि चुनाव के दिनों में पत्रकार साथियों को दिन रात दौड़ना पड़ता है और आज मीडिया की कंपटीशन भी इतनी है कि आपको समय से आगे दौड़ना पड़ता है। मैं तो यही प्रार्थना करूंगा आप सब पुराने साथियों को कि अपने स्वास्थ्य का जरूर ध्यान रखें। और मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि पानी बहुत पीना चाहिए। जितना ज्यादा पानी पिएंगे तो आपको बहुत स्वास्थ्य के लिए भी ठीक रहेगा और एनर्जी भी मेंटेन रहती है। आज तीसरे चरण का मतदान है। मैं देशवासियों को विशेष रूप से आग्रह करूंगा कि लोकतंत्र में मतदान ये सामान्य दान नहीं है। हमारे देश में दान का एक महात्म्य है और उसी भाव से देशवासी ज्यादा से ज्यादा मतदान करें। आज तीसरे चरण का मतदान है। अभी और करीब करीब 3 सप्ताह चुनाव अभियान चलेगा। 4 मतदान के दौर आगे भी है। मेरा गुजरात में मतदान के नाते यही एक जगह है जहां मैं रेगुलर मतदान करता हूं और अमित भाई यहां से भारतीय जनता पार्टी के उम्मीदवार के रूप में चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं। मैं कल रात को ही आंध्र से आया हूं। अभी गुजरात में हूं। मध्य प्रदेश जाना है, महाराष्ट्र जाना है, फिर तेलंगाना जाना है। तो इतने कम समय में मैं ज्यादा बात तो नहीं कर पाऊंगा, लेकिन मैं गुजरात के मतदाताओं को भी और देश के मतदाताओं का भी हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, जो उत्साह उमंग से मतदान में हिस्सा लेते हैं।
2024 चुनाव के तीसरे चरण का दिन है। मैं देश भर के सभी मतदाताओं को और गुजरात के मतदाताओं को भी मन से विनती करना चाहता हूं कि बढ़ चढ़कर लोकतंत्र के इस महोत्सव में हिस्सा ले। स्थिर सरकार, सुरक्षित देश, समृद्ध देश, गरीब कल्याण और भारत गौरव को समर्पित एक सरकार चुनिए। एक ऐसी सरकार चुनिए जो भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ हो, गरीबी का उन्मूलन करना चाहती हो, आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाना चाहती हो, विकसित भारत बनाना चाहती हो और पूरे विश्व में हर क्षेत्र में भारत को नंबर 1 ले जाना चाहती हो। आज इतनी चिलचिलाती धूप के बावजूद भी अब तक बहुत उत्साहजनक वोटिंग के ट्रेंड मिल रहे हैं। जहां तक गुजरात का सवाल है, करीब करीब 20% वोटिंग 2.5 घंटे में ही गुजरात के मतदाताओं ने समाप्त किया है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है देश भर में आज जहां जहां मतदान है वो सभी मतदाता और गुजरात के मतदाता एक ऐसी सरकार चुनेंगे जो स्थायित्व भी देगी, सुरक्षा भी देगी, समृद्धि भी देगी, गरीबी से मुक्त भारत बनाएगी। मैं आज के लोकतंत्र के इस पर्व के अवसर पर सभी देशवासियों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और फिर से एक बार पुरजोश वोटिंग कर लोकतंत्र के इस पर्व में हिस्सा लेने की अपील करता हूं।
We are now, in fact, joined in the studio by Jayant Bhattacharya, senior journalist who joins us. We have Dr. Anil K. Verma also with us, and Ajit Keja, a senior journalist, also joining with us. Let me, in fact, go to Jayant Bhattacharya. who is a senior journalist who's in fact with us. Jayant, when we see this phase, it is mostly the seats that are in BJP's kitty. They have managed to hold on to these number of seats in today's phase. So it is more about retaining the seats when we see for the BJP. A majority of them, almost 72 to 73 seats from the 93 to 94 odd seats. In that 72 to 73 are with the BJP. So it looks like it is more about retaining it because of course from Gujarat you have got out of out. But then still questions are there with regard to Maharashtra and Karnataka. How do you in fact see it?
Yes, indeed. The two states that you mentioned would be interesting. Maharashtra, because this election will see the Thackeray, who had built that political party which was once so powerful, Shiv Sena, divided into two. Similarly, the NCP. In fact, Baramati will be interesting where power versus power is going to happen, or rather happening right now as we speak. So Maharashtra indeed is special because after the last government, the MBA, what we see now in the NDA, we have NCP as well as the Shiv Sena, and they will be contesting against their own kin in a way. We can put it that, if we can put it that way. So indeed, Maharashtra would be interesting. So would be Karnataka, because this time Karnataka, after the assembly election, whether or not it will have any effect, that we'll have to wait and see. Because there are many local issues that, especially in the city of Bangalore itself, that the people are facing. Whether that will come out, we will have to wait and see. If you look at the other Gujarat, yes, of course, I feel, I may be wrong, but I feel is a foregone case, as we put it, because we know already one seat that has gone uncontested to the BJP. The rest, we will have to wait and see. Let's not put our neck out too much and beforehand comment on it. Coming to the other states, if you start from the east, then Assam, except for Guwahati, the other seats, BJP is not directly contesting, but its allies are. But these seats are heavily in the other side, that is the opposition, who may have a better chance at this. But once again, we cannot stick our neck out. Same with West Bengal also. But yeah, West Bengal, of course, one seat was with the BJP. We have to see how far that will help this time. We will have to wait and see, because polarization is a big issue. All these constituencies that are going to pose this time, the minority is in majority. That is the most, more than 50%. So let us see. Let's see. Let
us in fact see, and we will come back to you. We'll have to slip into a short break now. News and updates. We'll continue on the other side.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
We are trying a lot of experiments, innovations and ideas.
We came out with a new format in audio, which is audio series.
Listening for content-oriented company in India, which is a very unique proposition.
When we look at audio in general, we had music, which is like extremely old format, and then we had podcasts.
A natural extension for Pocket FM is to move from Hindi to regional content. I think I'd love to see their FY24 numbers, which they claim will be close to 1,000 crores. I think there are talks of them to raise another $80 to $100 million of funding.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
A defiant performance by Ten Hag's men. Now standing at 7 feet 4 inches, Satnam Singh is making his way into professional wrestling.
We are getting more good news for India.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Well, Karnataka is one of the crucial states where the polling is taking place. The 14 seats in North Karnataka and coastal Karnataka are going to the polls. Let's listen to some of the reactions coming in from Karnataka with regards to the elections.
See, people should go to the polling booth and vote. That is, in democracy, if you don't use your vote, it has no value. And secondly, if people with thumping majority, if they vote, they can change the governments. Therefore, I request all the voters, please go to polling booth and poll heavily in favor of democracy and constitution.
This time I am telling you that minimum we are going to win 25 Lok Sabha constituency. Atmosphere is very good. Wherever you go, Modi, the response is there. Because of that reason, we are going to win minimum 24 to 25 seats this time also.
Well, that was in fact Mallikarjun Kharge casting his vote at a very important constituency. Well, we have with us Dr. Anil K. Verma, who's a political analyst as well. Dr. Anil K. Verma, how do you in fact see the battle in Karnataka? We are seeing most of those battles between BJP and Congress that has been, and most of those seats in coastal as well as North Karnataka have been won by the BJP in the previous Lok Sabha elections. But the assembly election factor, we had seen some of these seats in the assembly segments actually switch side. But then we cannot say that the same thing could, be applicable when it comes to the Lok Sabha elections as well. So Karnataka is very crucial to the BJP in its large calculation of having 400 seats.
Yes, Pargis, Karnataka is very crucial to the BJP because of the fact that BJP had almost swept Karnataka last time. Two things I would like to mention. If you go back to the previous Lok Sabha election and the earlier assembly elections held before 2019, you will find that in the not 2021 election but previous election, the BJP vote share was 38% then also, and 2021 also BJP vote share was 38%. So far as the assembly scenario is concerned, the vote share of the BJP is constant 38% despite the fact that the seats were down. But when you go to the 2019 parliamentary election, the BJP vote share jumped from 38% to 51% plus. That's a very significant thing, and we have to see whether, in spite of the fact that there is a Congress government in Karnataka right now, and in spite of the fact that there is a incident of sex scandal by JDS member, whether the votes will be impacted or not. And I think that the kind of vote share that the BJP maintains in Karnataka, there is a very significant chances of the BJP again, if not getting 2019, then it 2019. That is one. The second thing is that the gentleman Ravana, he belongs to the Vokalinga community, and in the Vokalinga community, the elections, the South Karnataka has already been done away. So whether in the North Karnataka that factor would work or not is very difficult to say. But public psychology is certainly disturbed. But the catch point is that all the crimes of that gentleman MP were conducted when the JDS was an ally with the Congress. That means 2019. 2019, the Congress and the JDS were part of the UPA. But this time, at the nick of the time, he has jumped to the BJP. So both are trying to wriggle out of it. Congress is saying he is no more my cup of tea. BJP is saying, well, why don't you know about his crimes and arrested him before he committed the crime, and so on and so forth, and we are for a very stringent action against him and so on. So I think these are some factors which slightly may adversely impact BJP's prospects in one or two constituency, but given by the fact that previously BJP had 51% vote share in parliamentary election in 2019. I see a very little downslide so far as the vote share is concerned. How that will translate into the seats, that we'll see in 4th of June.
Well, let's see in fact how it in fact works out, especially since you brought in the intricate parts of how the vote share in fact also could be playing into it. Well, we slip into a short break now. News and updates will continue on the other side.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known that I'm going to win. Life of a goalkeeper is something which has always intrigued me. When you come into a stadium, this is the highest level of pressure. When I set out to do something, I decide in my mind that failure is not an option.
What you feel very strongly about, those are the stories to tell.
I have a mind which is absolutely restless. Mind and body are entangled sensations. That brings me back to golf. It's an amazing game.
This is not a perfect game. You only learn from them.
If you have a formula to a success, then you can replicate it.
I feel this is my first step. I'm starting now.
Winner is first born in the mind. I think, therefore I am. We are all about our mind.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Well, we have seen how the voting has taken place for the third phase, and still it's underway, and there's been a response for it as well. Meanwhile, the crucial states that we have seen is, of course, Karnataka, Maharashtra, as well as some of the crucial seats in West Bengal also going to the polls. But there have been reactions coming to the third phase. Let's listen in.
मैं सभी बहनों और भाइयों से, भांजे भांजियों से यही अपील करता हूं कि लोकतंत्र का महा उत्सव है चुनाव, और मतदान यानी वोट डालना लोकतंत्र के प्रति हमारी निष्ठा का प्रतीक, और इसलिए वोट जरूर डालें, पहले मतदान करें, बाद में कोई और काम। मेरी सभी से अपील है कि हर एक भाई और बहन मतदान जरूर करे।
भारत देश का सबसे बड़ा चुनाव आज होने जा रहा है, और महाराष्ट्र और खास करके मराठवाड़ा लातूर का लोकसभा चुनाव आज होने जा रहा है। आज 7 मई को मतदाता वोट डालेंगे। मतदाताओं से मैं यही गुजारिश करना चाहूंगा, विनती करना चाहूंगा कि वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा वोट डालें और हमारी जो लोकतंत्र है देश की उसको मजबूत करें। कांग्रेस पार्टी का प्रदर्शन बहुत अच्छा रहेगा। इस बार लोग भारी तादाद में कांग्रेस पार्टी को समर्थन दे रहे हैं, और कांग्रेस पार्टी के उम्मीदवार डॉक्टर शिवाजी काळगे, इनको बहुत ज्यादा पसंद किया जा रहा है मतदाताओं की ओर से। कार्यकर्ता भी भारी ऊर्जा के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। महाविकास आघाड़ी के सारे नेता एक होकर लड़ रहे हैं।
को यही कहना चाहता हूं, बाहर आ जाइए और वोट डालिए। इस प्रजाप्रभुत्व के त्योहार में आप हिस्सा लीजिए और प्रजाप्रभुत्व को यशस्वी कीजिए।
Well, these were, in fact, the leaders coming out and asking people to vote. Basaraj Bommai there. We have the Chief Minister of Gujarat also casting his vote. Meanwhile, there are crucial states like the West Bengal. Now, Ajit K. Jha, senior journalist, also with us. Ajit K. Jha, how do you see the elections in West Bengal, especially now the crucial seats, the 4 seats that are going to the polls today?
You know, West Bengal in this election would be considered a battleground state, because remember, West Bengal used to earlier have a 4-cornered contest, or at times a 3-cornered contest between the BJP, Trinamool and the Congress and the CPIM. But in this election, it has completely changed. I mean, that happened during the last 2019 Lok Sabha as well. But in this election, it is a typical bipolar contest, and it's a fierce contest. In fact, in the rest of the country...
As you can say, it's a bipolar. We are always thinking, when we talk about West Bengal, we are always thinking about a TMC versus, BJP that we are looking at now. But there are the side parties, like you have the CPM that had ruled the state for over 2 decades. And then you had the Congress, which had a strong preference before the CPM displaced it. But both of them are, or rather the TMC, CPI and the left parties as well as the Congress, all part of this India alliance. So why is West Bengal such a complicated slot? Because on one side you see an ally who doesn't want to be an ally. On the other side you have BJP who's been trying to maintain this thing. So where do these 2 parties actually stand in West Bengal? Do they even have a stand in these elections when it comes to this particular state?
No, you're absolutely right. The Trinamool is officially part of the India alliance, and so are the CPIM and Congress. But in actual reality, there is no alliance on the ground between the Trinamool and Congress and CPM. And in a way, in the long decline that took place of the CPIM and the Congress, the Trinamool has emerged as the single party which basically is contesting against the BJP. And in the last election, we saw that the BJP had done extraordinarily well in terms of Lok Sabha. They won 18 seats in 2019. After that, during the assembly election, we did see a decline in the BJP. The BJP did not do as well as expected in the assembly election. But then again, in the last 2 or 3 months, the Trinamool has become very aggressive. We saw Sandesh Khali happening. The Trinamool basically has attacked the Congress much more than the BJP for a while. In fact, at the point when Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra entered Bengal, there was this big spat with Mamata Banerjee openly saying that Congress would not even get 40 seats in the rest of the country. And after that, totally, this was basically a fight between Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress and Mamata Banerjee. This is an old fight. They can't stand each other. And somehow the Congress-led Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary dictate the entire fate of the alliance. So as a result, the main fight today is just between BJP and Trinamool. And my own guess is that because it's a battleground state, the BJP is surging back again. And the turnout in Bengal, unlike the rest of the state, is very high. The BJP might actually do better than 18 seats. They might actually end up inching up to 20, 22, 24. So that is one state in this part of the country where the BJP is doing better, other than Assam. Maybe Odisha as well. In Bihar, where the NDA last time had won 39, they may not win 39 this time. They might win, let's say, between 30 to 35 this time.
Right.
But in Bengal, it's one of the states where the BJP's graph is going to go up in this particular election.
Right. Stay with us, Mr. Jha. We will, in fact, come back to all our experts again. We have to slip into a short break now. News and updates will continue on the other side.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Luxury is now becoming a need rather than something that you aspire to be. So that is adding a lot of fuel. Obviously, government has played a vital role in it.
In a city like Mumbai, a luxury home may be something upwards of rupees 10 crores. In city like Delhi, again maybe something upwards of 8-9 crores. But in Bangalore, we typically define a luxury home, anything which is upwards of about 3 crores.
It's a combination of increased wealth, availability of more luxurious homes, and simultaneously the overall economy doing better.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
The Prime Minister in fact came and voted early in the morning and also asked others to come out in large numbers and vote, and to ensure that the third phase also has a large voting percentage. Let's listen into what the Prime Minister had to say.
भाई गर्मी में आप लोग दिन रात दौड़ कर रहे हैं, आप अपने स्वास्थ्य की भी चिंता कीजिए, और क्योंकि चुनाव के दिनों में पत्रकार साथियों को दिन रात दौड़ना पड़ता है, और आज मीडिया की कंपटीशन भी इतनी है कि आपको समय से आगे दौड़ना पड़ता है। मैं तो यही प्रार्थना करूंगा आप सब पुराने साथियों को कि अपने स्वास्थ्य का जरूर ध्यान रखें, और मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि पानी बहुत पीना चाहिए। जितना ज्यादा पानी पिएंगे तो आपको बहुत स्वास्थ्य के लिए भी ठीक रहेगा और एनर्जी भी मेंटेन रहती है। आज तीसरे चरण का मतदान है। मैं देशवासियों को विशेष रूप से आग्रह करूंगा कि लोकतंत्र में मतदान ये सामान्य दान नहीं है। हमारे देश में दान का एक महात्म्य है, और उसी भाव से देशवासी ज्यादा से ज्यादा मतदान करें। आज तीसरे चरण का मतदान है। अभी और करीब करीब 3 सप्ताह चुनाव अभियान चलेगा। 4 मतदान के दौर आगे भी है। मेरा गुजरात में मतदार के नाते यही एक जगह है जहां मैं रेगुलर मतदान करता हूं, और अमित भाई यहां से भारतीय जनता पार्टी के उम्मीदवार के रूप में चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं। मैं कल रात को ही आंध्र से आया हूं, अभी गुजरात में हूं। मध्य प्रदेश जाना है, महाराष्ट्र जाना है, फिर तेलंगाना जाना है। तो इतने कम समय में मैं ज्यादा बात तो नहीं कर पाऊंगा, लेकिन मैं गुजरात कि मतदाताओं को भी और देश के मतदाताओं का भी हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, जो उत्साह उमंग से मतदान में हिस्सा लेते हैं।
Well, Jayant Bhattacharya, one of the crucial aspects of these polls, especially when it comes to the third phase, is when it comes to small regions, especially like Goa, or when it comes to these union territories. We have seen that the BJP has been able to keep their stand, especially when it comes to Goa. We have seen how the voting in Goa, the BJP has always had the upper hand. Of course, the Congress seemed to have, in fact, completely deserted Goa. We have seen how in the assembly elections also they had, the Congress house has collapsed. Now, in a small state like Goa, it always, for us journalists, always seem to be coming on to the mainstream. Whenever there is a political development, when the Congress tries to recapture it, you see how it, in fact, collapses. Goa, again, firmly in BJP's net. It's been there for almost in the last couple of Lok Sabha elections as well. Do you see the same thing continuing now as well?
Indications, yeah, I would go with you, because going after not only the last assembly elections, but before that also, we can say that perhaps the BJP really holds sway over the opposition in Goa. Right now, of course, if you look at the last elections, then of course there are two seats there, North and South Goa, where BJP won one, and I think the other one went to the Congress. So if you see that the situation over there right now is, although the Lok Sabha seat, the two seats, and in fact, Goa has one of the largest number of assembly segments in each of the seats. So if you see the assembly segments, most of them they are with the BJP. But one of the seats that has gone to the Congress. But there also, this time around, the assembly seats, they have gone to the BJP. Now, during the assembly elections, of course, there were the other so-called India alliance, which happened later, like Aam Aadmi Party, like the Trinamool Congress. They had also thrown in their candidates to check their luck in Goa also. Maybe that also affected to some extent, but overall, and one more thing I have to say here is that Lok Sabha elections and assembly elections, they are never the same, whether it's the issues or it's about the leadership. So over here, when you see the Lok Sabha elections, it's not only in this union territory, it's in any state also, that it is the name, the person who is leading the party that really matters. So yes, it's not only Goa, but even the other smaller states or the union territories which are going to polls. I think the BJP will have an edge.
Will have an edge. Well, Anil K. Verma, one crucial question that after our discussions we've come to know is that when it talks about assembly, how the assembly polls have gone and how the Lok Sabha polls have gone, the split understanding of a voter is always there. Probably in the assembly election, the regional factors are there, so they are going to in fact go for the particular party, and BJP does not have that advantage. But nationally, probably they know that the BJP could be given that advantage. So the split voter phenomena is also there, and probably is it that too much that India Alliance is reading into their assembly election wins?
I think you raised a very important question, Varghese, and I'll give you two examples, one from north and one from south. If you go to Uttar Pradesh, which is a northern state, you will find that the Yadav community, which is a very dominant community, and usually it is understood that they vote for the Samajwadi Party. There is a 10% shift from the Yadav to from the SP to the BJP when it comes to parliamentary elections. So, because the Samajwadi Party being a regional party, the Yadavs, the core voters of the Samajwadi Party, they understand that the SP is not going to be in the fray or form the government at the national level. So, even the core voters of the Samajwadi Party, they will shift to the BJP from SP to the BSP. In the same way, from the south, I'll give you the example of Karnataka. In Karnataka, the BJP is getting a vote share of 38% and sometimes winning and sometimes losing like this last time. But when it comes to parliamentary election, the BJP vote share is pretty high, 51%. I mean, more than 10-12% jump from the assembly election. So the voters of the Indian democracy have matured over the years, and they know how to distinguish between a preference for the state and a preference for the central government. And that's why this takes us to a very important question of one nation, one election. That most of the political parties, they are apprehensive that it will be favorable to one political party, whichever is that political party. So it can cancel out, sometimes this party will be in power, sometimes that party in power. But this is a question mark on the intelligence and maturity and wisdom of the Indian voter. They are not what the political parties think. They are very, very shrewd, and they know how to vote for the assembly and how to vote for the parliament. So it's not a split voting system. It's an intellectually sound, wise voting system, I would say.
Well, now we will listen to some of the reactions that have come in, especially of those who have cast their vote, and from the political leadership as well, and few celebrities as well. Let's listen in.
देखिए, पूरे देश में नरेंद्र मोदी जी की लहर चल रही है और भारत की जनता ऐसा मानती है कि भारत के भविष्य के लिए, भारत के उत्थान के लिए, भारत के स्वाभिमान के लिए, भारत के गौरव के लिए तीसरी बार नरेंद्र मोदी जी का प्रधानमंत्री बनना बड़ा जरूरी है। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि पूर्ण बहुमत से तीसरी बार 4 जून के बाद एक आवाज गूंजेगी कि मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी तीसरी बार भारत के प्रधानमंत्री के पद की शपथ।
मैं सभी से अपील करता हूं कि सब लोग वोट जरूर डालें, वोट आपका हक है और वोट डालने जरूर जाएं।
किन इश्यूज को वो ध्यान रखें वोट डालने?
जी बिल्कुल, जो विकास के मुद्दे हैं, जो नौजवानों को नौकरी मिलना चाहिए, संविधान को बचाने के लिए और परिवर्तन के लिए आज वोट डालने का काम करें।
नहीं, वोट करना ज़रूरी है। मुझे लगता है की आज इम्पॉर्टंट दिवस आहे, म्हणजे वोट करायला आमचं राईट आहे आणि इट्स इम्पॉर्टंट, वी शुड गो एंड वोट।
नहीं, मैं सभी से यही अपील करना चाहता हूँ कि मैं मुंबई से लातूर आया वोट करने के लिए और सभी लोगों को बाहर आकर ज़रूर मतदान करना चाहिए। मैं सबसे यही उम्मीद करता हूँ कि वो अपने घर से बाहर निकले और आज का दिन बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है और ज़रूर जाकर वोट करें।
Well, we slip into a short break now. News and updates will continue on the other side.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Film and entertainment is definitely one of the levers for any country to build its brand.
We are getting global. I feel that we're just on the takeoff.
More and more films are becoming language agnostic.
Content is a universal language.
There's one audience in the world.
Absolutely. End of the day, we all are like brothers who have mutual respect for each other from a different land.
Watch Allu Arjun on Duologues with Barun Das. Streaming on News9 Plus.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
I try and convert almost everything in a kind of a mathematical formula.
You should always stretch more than you can reach.
Listening is very important.
Because if you don't listen, how would you know what the problem is?
Everybody who's working in and around me, their personal well-being is also a responsibility that I carry.
Great leaders have shared vision.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
Well, we were in fact speaking about the third phase of voting, how it has in fact impacted, talked about how the assembly segments have been also functioning with regard to regional parties and the national level of manner in which they in fact vote as well. We were all looking at that small aspects of it. Well, we have with us also Ajit Keja, who is a senior journalist, and with Ajit Keja, the question that we would like to ask is that when it comes to Maharashtra, of course, we've been talking about how it's been completely fractured. It's going to be difficult to read what is there in Maharashtra, and the polity also, how they are in fact going to go ahead with the voting pattern. There are several social issues as well. And when we talk about Maharashtra, we have seen that the Maratha factor is something that is going to play a major role in it. The main political parties have not been talking about it, but the reservation of the Marathas is something that has been one of the crucial elements just ahead of the polls. And then we know that the VBA, which is having the backward classes, the Dalits especially in their hold, they are also going to be a crucial factor. So we already know that there is splintering on the political lines, but when we look at the societal basis also, reservation is for the first time probably playing a very important role in these elections as well. Do you think that the Maratha demand on reservation would have some kind of an impact on what could happen on the ground?
Well, you raised two questions about the Maratha community. Let me point out, Marathas basically like loyalty. Ever since their history, they go by loyalty. They don't forget. They don't switch sides very easily. And people who switch sides usually gets punished in Maharashtra. That's a typical Maratha kind of sentiment. So I have a feeling that in this election, the BJP, which is contesting most of the seats, almost 28 seats, the BJP will end up doing much better, whereas its ally, the Shinde Shiv Sena, which is contesting about 15 seats and Ajit Pawar about 4, may not do so well, because whenever I talk to my friends in Maharashtra and the voters in Maharashtra, I got the feeling that they don't see the Shinde faction as a real sort of the follower of Thackeray as such. So I have a feeling that will affect. The second point that you raised about reservation, I think this time there is a silent voter phenomena all across the country. And part of the silent voter phenomena is basically the OBC voters, to some extent, of course, the scheduled castes, but more the OBC voters. And it is an issue, but if you talk to them, it doesn't look like the Mandal versus Kamandal of the 1990s, when VP Singh had raised the issue, or when we had seen the Mandal phenomena in Bihar and UP. Rahul Gandhi has jumped on that bandwagon. Congress might end up doing well where the OBC voters are in big numbers, and some of them who are angry with the BJP. But do remember one thing, that after all, both Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah loosely belong to the OBC sections, right? This is the new BJP. This is no more the BJP of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the typical Brahman Baniya party. It is a party which has penetrated, especially in the Hindi heartland in Maharashtra, in many of these states, among the OBC voters. So it's a toss-up. I mean, there is a silent phenomena of reservation becoming an issue, but is it enough to challenge the Hindutva voter? That I still can't figure out. At least we have not been able to figure out in these 3 phases. We have to see in the rest of the elections coming up. But you see Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi harping on the issue of reservation and constitutional protection, and how BJP is going to change the constitution for the ordinary people. That simply means removing reservation. So, and as you said, the issue of reservation had been hot in Maharashtra for quite a while. So this election, if it turns around, it will be because of Kamandal versus Mandal. But will it happen? We have yet to see that.
For that we have to wait till June 4th for the results to come in. But since you raised that issue of reservation, let me in fact also go to Anil K. Verma. So we were in fact speaking about the reservation factor. But see, it's not only the Marathas. We have many other communities who have been trying to push themselves into reservation category. We have the Lingaites who've been also looking for the reservation category on the national level. There have been demands that have been put in. There are several other groups and communities that have been trying to look into it. So the reservation aspect of it could become a rallying point for the parties that are actually going to promise for it. But for the BJP, it's already a system where it might upset the said calculus on the ground. Do you think that could be a state of affairs?
This reservation is, this is a very crucial and sensitive issue, and it cannot be discussed lightly. It's not, as you rightly said, it's not a question of Maharashtra only. It's a pan-India issue. And it's very complicated actually. And the kind of social justice approach that we have, tried to take through reservation route, I'm reminded of Dr. Ambedkar's last speech in Constituent Assembly, when he very clearly stated that liberty without equality doesn't mean anything, and liberty and equality without fraternity would be meaningless. Therefore, his overall emphasis was on fraternity. That is one thing. And taking clue probably from that speech of Dr. Ambedkar, what the BJP has been doing is, they had, as my predecessor speaker was recently pointing out, they've completely made it constituency transformation. And the BJP is no longer the BJPs of 1980s or BJP of 1990s. It is a BJP which is getting 50% vote share in Karnataka and 50% vote share in Uttar Pradesh and 40% odd vote share all over the country. Who are those people who have joined the BJP, who have come to support the BJP? They cannot be upper caste. And as our studies have shown, the ground researches have shown, there is a massive shift of OBC, there is a massive shift of the Dalits from the earlier, caste-based parties to the BJP fold because of one single thing. And that thing that the BJP has not only been saying inclusive politics, and it's not a Jumla kind of a thing only, they have actually meant it. And the way BJP has been able to integrate the Dalits and the OBC in the fold of the wider Hindutva fold, that is a consolidation of the Hindu society, that the consolidation of the Indian society. And you will be surprised that in the previous elections, 2021 in Uttar Pradesh, what we have seen is there is a massive shift of the Muslims towards, especially the Pasmanda Muslims, to the BJP. And if you go to the Gujarat, I recall even in 2004 parliamentary election in the Gujarat, 20% CSDS data said 20% Muslim have voted BJP. So what I feel that the BJP has taken a very important initiative in the country, and they are trying to transform the constituency and shift the caste politics to class politics. And the four classes that the BJP has developed, that is, one is the poor, the second is the women, third is the farmers, and the fourth is the youth. So these four classes they have developed, and they are playing this politics or pursuing this politics and politics of mobilization in this democracy, new BJP, using not the caste framework but the class framework. And that's why the benefits of reservation cannot be only the benefits of social justice cannot be given only through reservation, but they are trying a very wider gamut to bring social reality, social justice, a reality in Indian democracy.
Right. Thank you, Anil K. Verma. Thank you, Jayant Bhattacharya, as well as Aditya Jha for, in fact, joining us in our special on the third phase of polling. With that, it's a wrap on my side. On the other side, there is more from News9 with news and updates coming in with regards to the elections and from across the world.
Brought to you by We God, co-powered by Sensodyne, associate sponsor Ultratech Cement and Vimal, Bolo Zuma Kesari.
Film and entertainment is definitely one of the levers for any country to build its brand.
We are getting global. I feel that we're just on the takeoff.
More and more films are becoming language agnostic.
Content is a universal language.
There's one audience in the world.
Absolutely. End of the day, we all are like brothers who have mutual respect for each other from a different land.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
There's a new video around what deepfake can do.
We have seen a trailer of this a few days back.
Rumors should not be only on the platform.
We'll have to wait and see how those play out.
Hindenburg's report cannot be taken as gospel of truth.
Golf as a game, it is closest to the game that you call life.
You've got to use your mind. You cannot lose it.
The sharpest person is one who understands his limitations.
खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा बंदे से पूछे कि तेरी रजा क्या है.
You might have a bad break after a good shot. You might have a good break after a bad shot. But the fact remains, you got to play the ball from where it lies.
Watch Jeev Milkha Singh on Duologue with Paruntas, streaming on News9 Plus.
India produces between 1,500 and 2,000 films every year, the highest for any country. But they get ignored at international awards.
The Oscars are basically American national awards for themselves.
You're not going to be able to make a better pizza than an Italian chef. You're not going to be able to make a better sushi. Make better sushi than a Japanese chef. Will you make better khichdi than a Japanese chef? Right? So I want you to taste my food. We are making cinema that we are proud of.
In fact, it has been 2 decades since an Indian feature film featured in the Oscars International Film category.
All these years, for much of its history, they've been just awarding their own films, and this one tiny category, Best Foreign Language Film, had the entire world frothing at the mouth to get into the Oscars.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
It's probably the best kept secret in India.
Family-owned business, which has been extremely clinical in their approach. They have not hesitated ever to kill their darlings.
Typical to a South Indian business empire, I think they've shunned the limelight almost deliberately.
We are trying a lot of experiments, innovations and ideas.
We came out with a new format in audio, which is audio series.
Listening for content-oriented company in India, which is a very unique proposition.
When we look at audio in general, we had music